All right. Well, good morning, Carbondale. How y'all doing today? Thank you so much for tuning in to Talk of the Town here on WDBX 91.1 Community Radio for Southern Illinois. And the world.
And the world.
And the whole entire world.
All of it.
I am sitting here in one of my favorite spots in the world. I'm out at SIU's Touch of Nature.
My messy office.
Your messy office. This feels like home to me, Brian.
It does.
And I'm here with Brian Croft. How are you today?
Thank you for coming all the way out to see us.
Hey, absolutely. It's a beautiful fall drive.
It is. It's peak. Okay, something you need to know about me. We're friends.
Uh-huh.
I like to talk.
Yes.
You know this about me.
Yep, I know that.
But one of the things that I struggle with is saying the word foliage.
It's a tricky one.
Yes.
Yep.
And so whenever the leaves start to change, people are like, oh, like news, and everyone's like, we need to do a story about this. Let's go to
foliage.
Touch of Nature. And there are a lot of clips out there of me just over that word.
Yes.
So
you could just say leaves.
Fall colors.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're pretty.
There you go.
So feel like you know a little bit more about me now.
Yeah, keep it simple. You know, that's what you're good at.
We don't need fancy words.
Yeah.
Foliage. It's fine.
I love it. I love it. All right, and that's it for Talk of the Town.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here with Brian at Touch of Nature to discuss some wonderful traditional events coming up, to talk about some new things that have kind of merged into the Touch of Nature world.
Yes.
And I want to talk about this foliage.
Yeah, dead, and the leaves that are changing and the colors.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Brian, do you want to just tell our listeners your role here at Touch of Nature, and maybe just a brief synopsis of what Touch of Nature is? If we keep saying Touch of Nature, and you're like, what is that? Well,
it's a lot, and it's been a lot of things over the years, and it's kind of changed. So Touch of Nature foremost is the university's outdoor lab.
Okay.
And we've been around since the early 50s. And so if you talk to a lot of people about the history of the center, a lot of people will reference, its origins in Special Olympics and some of those other things. But ultimately what it was is this idea that outdoor experiences are good for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so how do we help people get outside?
Yeah.
And so what we really started to do is look at certain populations that maybe needed help getting outside. Mm-hmm. So back in the 50s and 60s, that was oftentimes people with mental impairments, cognitive impairments, physical disabilities and things like that. But now it's even merged to school groups, it's merged to community members, even other affinity groups like LGBTQ plus or the BIPOC community or anything like that. Like the outdoors, and the research is there, and you're obviously an outdoor person, so you get it. Like it's hard to not go out there and be like, this is really peaceful.
Yeah.
But it's sad to me that there are a lot of people that either don't feel like they can feel comfortable or whatever in getting outside. So really that's our job.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, we are an experiential laboratory for the university. Mm-hmm. So if you're learning something, let's say you're studying education, right? As opposed to you just spending all of your time in the classroom, well, ideally you come out and you work with the local school groups when they come visit us.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of this holistic thing where the community are getting these great programs. We're offering the students of SIU these experiential opportunities to kind of practice what it is they are learning in the classroom.
Yeah.
And my job is just to be the puppet master on top.
Yeah, I love it.
Making it all happen.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, saying things like, oh, the budget. Well,
yeah.
That's it.
Touch of Nature in a nutshell.
Yes,
there for you,
that's
folks.
it. Yes.
I love it.
And so for me, those people that know me, like I was a kid, I had no idea. I thought I knew what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. When I came to college, I was going to be in television and radio.
Okay. Yep.
That didn't work. Then I was going to be in cinema. Then I was going to be a music teacher for a while. Okay. That was fun. And then I knew I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Sure.
And I came out here in 2006 to pay the rent.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you're an outdoor person. Like, why don't you come out? And
Absolutely.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I came out and got a job. And it took me about 2 weeks working out here to be like, well, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to start as a student worker, 20 some years ago, and now to be in this role. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely it is. Yeah. Hey, and that's the power of SIU.
That's right.
The power of Southern Illinois.
It's sticky. it's sticky. It's just like you kind of come in, and I'm not from here, but like SIU has always been home and will be home for me and my wife and my family. So
I love it.
Home.
I love it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So you have a pretty iconic event coming up here with Touch of Nature. And I know that we want to make sure that that is on our listeners' radar. Yeah. So talk to us about the Buffalo Tro.
So the Buffalo Tro is sort of one of these historic Touch of Nature programs that we've been doing since the late 50s, early 60s.
Cool.
It was brought here by a guy named L.B. Sharp, Lloyd Burgess Sharp. And L.B. Sharp is kind of known as the father of outdoor education. So he spent most of his career in New York getting inner city kids from New York to go to camps. And so it was the Time Life camps. And so the magazine actually sponsored these camps.
Cool.
When they started building SIU, they were like, we want to go find the best outdoor education professional in the country. And they went and found L.B. Sharp. And so he came here in the 50s and helped get this place off the ground with Bill Freeberg, the original director, and some others. And so he brought the Tro here, and we've been doing it ever since. And really what it is it's just a campfire. And I think we forget how powerful those campfire experiences are, and we think that it's only for kids and things like that, but really at its core it's just us gathering around the fire, kind of in celebrating the outdoor space, but also just the community that we're in. And for us too, it sort of serves as the bookend for kind of the end of our programming season.
Okay, sure.
So it's coming up again. It's the Friday. It's November 21st. So it's the Friday before Thanksgiving, and we really turned it about. When we did our first Buffalo Tro kind of fundraiser was in 2011, and it was fancy. Like we wore a suit and all kinds of stuff. And then we were like, that's not really us.
Sure.
So about 3 years ago, we made a commitment to kind of go, for lack of a better term, go old school with it.
Yeah.
And so we started going old school. You come, you sit around the fire, bring your blankets, because it's November.
Sure.
And we start the fire at about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we burn this giant pile of hickory down so there's this giant bed of coals, and we will cook steaks right in front of you.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. And so we'll tell stories, we'll sing songs, and then we end it with we throw, or we tro, that's what we call it. We tro the meat on the coals, and then it cooks in front of everybody. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's kind of where that title, Buffalo Tro, comes in?
So it's funny that you say this. Yeah. It actually got its name because there was an error on the original flyer. The person just was supposed to put throw, and they put tro. And so that's how it got its name. So now,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, but now it's history, and we can't change it. So,
no, definitely not.
Now we tro to meat.
The beauty and the errors. Yeah. I love that.
And some people are like, "Oh, I didn't know. Am I supposed to know what a tro is?" I'm like, no, you're not.
Just a typo.
Yeah. So a typo has now led to almost 60 years of tradition.
Hey, that's powerful.
Yeah, right?
That's tradition, right?
It is.
That's the human experience. Yep. And part of that, I love that community that started that was like, hey, we're going to roll with this. We're going to make this work for us.
Well, and I think for me, the cool thing is hearing people like, oh, I remember going to a Tro 30 years ago or 40 years ago and talking about it. And so it's kind of one of those things that no Tro is ever the same, right? Because it kind of depends on who's facilitating it and how they want to do it. But ultimately, it's just about good times around the fire.
Absolutely.
And we'll have live music. The food is the food is actually really good.
Yeah.
So you cook it over the coals. And then the secret is it goes into a butter bath. Ooh. So anything that has a butter bath innately is good.
Absolutely.
So there's steak, there's potato, there's vegetables, all the whole thing. And we will have s'mores.
Okay, good.
So, I've been asking everybody this as I go on the press junket tour for the Tro. When was the last time you had a s'more?
I know it's been within the past year.
Okay.
I definitely had one last fall at some point in time. I can't tell you a clear memory.
It's not an age thing. It should be requirement once a year. If you haven't done it, just
agreed.
just do it.
Agreed.
And it's sticky and it's messy and it's delicious and it's going to make you feel 12 again. And we all need to feel 12 again. Sometimes.
Indeed. We need that good 12 reset.
Yeah. So this is by far, it's to me, it's not just an event. It brings together our community. It brings together our supporters. It is technically a fundraiser, but really, you know, we always say like our community is our backbone, right? That is who we are. So it's really a chance for us to celebrate our community.
Yeah,
and the Touch of Nature community and all of the people that have supported us throughout the year. So
that brings me to my next question. This is open to everyone.
Everyone,
right?
yeah.
Everyone's invited.
Yeah.
Anyone can come participate.
So
in the
so if you go, it's $50 a plate or a person, and I think you can get a table for $3.75.
Okay.
And that comes with a couple glasses of wine and some other stuff too.
Nice.
But again, as all of our events, everything that we make profit-wise goes right back into camper scholarships, goes into, you know, fixing up our cabins, you know. Ideally, maybe adding some air conditioning to some of our facilities.
Sure.
I don't know if you've experienced our cabins in August, but they're a little much.
It's a little toasty.
A little much.
It's a little toasty.
But yeah, so it all goes right back into Touch, and so it's become really it's hard for me to say what my favorite event is at Touch because, as you know, we do a lot of stuff.
Right.
So whether it's Little Grassy Get Down or our camps or Maple Fest or this, I mean, they're all my favorite.
Yeah. It just keeps going.
It just keeps going.
And the best part of it all is it's all in the beautiful outdoor landscape of Southern Illinois. So it really can't go wrong.
And how lucky are we, and I say this all the time, but like how lucky are we to have the background and the backdrop that we do here in Southern Illinois? Because, you know, I do a lot of talks about outdoor economy and outdoor tourism, and what people don't realize is from where we're sitting right now, we can go mountain biking, rock climbing, canoeing, paddling. There's the river to river, which is 180 miles of through trail, Shawnee National Forest, state parks. Places like that don't exist.
Yeah.
And if you do live in a place like that, your cost of living is astronomical.
Right.
So we are the perfect blend, I always say, of access and affordability. And so it really, and especially in the fall. Yeah. This is my favorite time of the year, minus the allergies. For someone who loves the outdoors, they're slowly trying to kill me. Yeah. So other than this pain that is right here in my sinuses, this is it.
Yeah, it's about as good as it. And we're not even 15 minutes from town.
That's it, right?
You know? I can drive right now and go to Walmart, go through the Taco Bell drive-thru after my hike, you know.
And I think you forget that, and I think that's why Carbondale is really situated in a really unique space. And I think people are starting, not that they haven't seen it before, but I think people are really starting to notice it.
I think so,
and I think you're going to continue to see Carbondale grow, especially as it leans more into outdoor recreation and outdoor tourism.
Yeah, you know, we've been running with these awesome campaigns, partnering with Southern Illinois University more as the city, really kind of bridging some perhaps gaps that have popped up here and there over the years. And our community has been showing up and showing out. We just had, you know, Touch of Nature was out at our downtown Carbondale Halloween Homecoming Music Street Festival. And we've been, you know, writing this campaign of the path starts here, like letting people know, come get your education here, come get on the actual paths, these walking paths, these hiking paths, your career path, your home and family path. You can find it all here. And now the Saluki is built here campaign.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that whole, and I think that's the thing, is there's something about being a Saluki and being, from Carbondale. And when I say from Carbondale, again, I was not born in Carbondale, but I am from Carbondale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to that stickiness that we talked about. There's something about it that just, even my wife and I moved away for about 5 or 6 years. And when we got the call to move back, we both said, let's go home. And that was home.
And that's a great thing about this community for, the Carbondalians who have been here their whole lives, so willing and open to accept any outsider and let them claim it as their home.
everyone that when I do have friends and people come visit, they're like, everyone's so nice.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think we're nice, and I don't think we're not nice. I just think like this is just normal. So I think our normal is like everyone else is nice.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's something about the hospitality and just, especially again this season, there's so many different festivals and all those, and it's just having people come into sort of our backyard, and they always leave like happy.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, being outside, that helps people relax, find that peace, and find that happiness. So I think that's part of our niceness.
I'm not going to nerd out about it, but there's a lot of research behind just being like having a window open, having a door open.
Yeah.
There's actually one of my favorite research articles is called View from a Window.
Okay.
And what they did was they looked at two patients recovering from the same surgery. Mm-hmm. One was put in a recovery room with a window overlooking just the courtyard, and the other had no window. That was it. The patients with the window on average recovered faster, had less complaints from the nurses, and required less medication post-surgery. And that was just because there was a window looking into the outdoors.
Wow.
So how cool is that?
Mind-blowing. That is amazing.
So, nerd.
I love it. Hey, if you're just tuning in, we're about halfway through our program already.
Remember when we were like, what are we going to talk about? Oh my gosh.
Any and everything. And get a couple gabbers with a camera rolling. I'm sitting here with Brian Croft with SIU Touch of Nature. He told us a little bit about the Buffalo Trode, this event coming up on November 21st. Yep. Thank you very much. And you can find more of that info online.
All of our stuff, ton.siu.edu. We've already got stuff from our spring starting up. We're about to go live with our polar plunge on campus and some other things. So,
amazing. And Brian, you were just cueing me in to an exciting development. Touch of Nature is adopting another SIU program.
We're bringing one in. Yeah. So... the story just went out a couple days ago, and really it's so Touch of Nature is sort of not absorbing, but we're taking the Office of Sustainability under sort of our wing.
Yeah, awesome.
And what that means, and I think a lot of people sustainability, first of all, is such a broad term.
Totally.
Right? And so sustainability in general it's a tough concept because it really depends on the lens that you're looking at it. So the other thing that's a little bit difficult is typically in higher ed, Office of Sustainabilities are located in a different office. So typically they're located in what we would here call FEM. And that's sort of the building, grounds, facility, energy management, right?
Okay.
The cool thing is we have an opportunity. So we are under student affairs. So what that means is just like Touch of Nature, we're going to look at the Office of Sustainability through a lens of education, outreach, and awareness. We're not going to necessarily, we will always be an advocate for sustainability, obviously, for SIU, but really our is how do we develop sustainability mindsets, and how do we train people to have sort of that sustainable eye, and especially looking at sustainability from not just an environmental lens, but an economic lens and a social lens and a cultural lens, and so really, what is sustainability? So, for example, we're actually on the 19th, we're going to be working. There's Leadership and Service Week that Student Affairs does, and so we're actually going to be going out on the 19th to the pavilion in downtown Carbondale, and we're going to be feeding the unhomed populations.
Great.
So it's this idea of sustainability it's more than just the environmental side, which is extremely important, but it's also about community health. It's about volunteering. It's about service and leadership and all of that stuff. And so it just kind of lends really well to what it is that Touch is already doing. So it's not, it was such an easy move to say, as opposed to having sort of this office that sits by itself, well, now by coming into Touch of Nature, how do we bring in sustainability to Maplefest? Or how do we take sustainability concepts, and if we're going to have in April and May hundreds of local school kids come out here for outdoor education programs, it's like, well, let's bring the Office of Sustainability out here to help educate some of the local youth and things like that. So, like anything, we're going to walk before we run.
Sure.
I'm about 1 week into the new role of overseeing both. So still a lot of questions from a lot of people. And I also invite people to reach out. Because there is a lot of, sustainability is one of those things that it brings out a lot of passion in people, as it should. And so I definitely want to be there to listen. And so I always say, if people have questions, like I'm a pretty, as you know, pretty open book.
Yeah.
Like you can ask me, and even if I don't know, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But super excited. And also I think it helps Touch of Nature have a presence on campus too. And so so it won't just be the Office of Sustainability, it'll be it'll be the Office of Sustainability, but then there'll be Touch staff there. And so I really think it's going to help us just continue to grow our programs in a really cool way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is wonderful to let those students know, like, hey, we're here.
Yes.
And let the community know. Like you said, sustaining the community in a multitude of ways. And that presence then in town on campus. And I want to shout out real fast while we're talking about that, Jack's Mass Transit. There's opportunities now to bring the community on that local transit out to Touch of Nature and these other outdoor spots.
And that's a lot of things when you talk about, so when we talk about, okay, if our job is to find out why people aren't getting outside, there's a lot of times people are like, well, Giant City, it's free to go to Giant City State Park. But then you're assuming that people have transportation to get out there. People have the awareness or the equipment or the comfortability to go out there by themselves. So a lot of times addressing barriers to participation, it's a lot more than financial. It's, do I have people that I can go with? Do I have the skills or the equipment that I need to do those things? Do I have the transportation? Do I have the time off? Do I have all of that stuff?
Right.
And so that's really our goal, is how do we address some of those barriers, at least the ones that we can, and make it easier for people?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so much. I love the umbrella is wide enough here.
And really that's what it is. And that's what I've been very adamant to folks, is like, I am not the director of sustainability and the director of Touch of Nature.
Sure.
Like, we are going to bring this in, and we're going to use the resources of both to make both better.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got just about a little over 5 more minutes of our program here. We've talked about the Buffalo Trail coming up on November 21st. We've talked about SIU Sustainability, joining forces with Touch of Nature.
Joining forces sounds like a superhero team.
Hey,
we're like the Avengers of the
I think you can claim that. Yes, indeed. in your super suit vest.
That's right. It's not. That's our uniform.
Exactly. What else would you like listeners to know about Touch of Nature at this time, or the beautiful Shawnee National Forest and Southern Illinois Naturescape?
I think, and I say this with all due respect to all of my friends and colleagues at SIU, most universities have a rec center. Most universities have a student center and health center. We have great ones here. But I think one of the things that I want people to know is that not every university has a Touch of Nature.
Yeah.
And so this is sort of kind of like my plea, whether it's the Buffalo Trail, whether it's Maple Fest, send your kid to camp or whatever, support us in any way that you can, because we're sort of we're the small town business, right?
Sure.
And so sometimes it's I could go here and get a cheaper thing here or whatever, but we are one of those things that makes SIU special.
Yeah.
And we only survive if people use us. So I'm always encouraging people to say, like, go to your school boards and say, hey, can our fifth grade kiddos do a field trip to Touch of Nature?
Yeah.
Come to our many events. Obviously, you were at Little Grassy Get Down, star performer, or Maple Fest, or again our camps. What we do is so broad, but just find your thing and come out.
Yeah.
Because really, we are the only outdoor center that is owned and operated by the state of Illinois, or by any university in the state of Illinois.
That's so cool.
So it was cool.
What a badge of honor.
It's cool. It's sad because there was another one, Laredo Taft up in Northern Illinois University, and they decided so we were started about 52. Some of the same folks that started Touch of Nature went up and started Laredo Taft in about 54 or 55. And they just decided to close their doors after almost 70 years.
Wow.
And so, for me, it made me feel special that we have this place. But it also, in the back of your head, it's like, okay, we got to do what we can to protect this place.
Yep.
And by protect, it's just use it. you know?
Absolutely.
And think about how. And again, whether it's a scouting group, whether it's a church group, you know, outdoor ed programs. We do an outdoor education inclusion program. We're actually doing this weekend, I think I told you, we're doing, we have the largest inclusive hunt in the state of Illinois.
Yes.
So folks will have, we're working with NWTF and with the Fallen Outdoors. So there'll be a veteran population. There'll be folks, we have like these special like wheelchairs that kind of look like tanks. So like the folks can get like, you know, right into the woods.
Incredible.
And so for them, this is the only opportunity that they have to have that kind of experience.
Yeah.
And so that's just, you know, one of the many things. We started a great rock climbing program with the Rocksteady. Have you seen Rocksteady Boxing?
Yes.
Yes. So we started doing rock climbing with
Yes.
because there's a bunch
amazing.
of research about the benefits of climbing in the Parkinson's community.
That's incredible.
And it's this idea that when you have that goal of like when you're reaching, you literally see some of the tremors just momentarily pause because there's something that just happens in that moment.
Oh, how cool.
So, and that's the kind of stuff, it's hard not to hear that and be like, oh.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, I want to get my dad rock climbing. He was
Yes.
diagnosed with Parkinson's
My mom
like
as well.
last year or so, and he is eligible for the Rocksteady boxing group. And yeah, I got to get John Fisher up on a rock wall.
John, if you're listening, you need to go to Rocksteady. First of all, it's an amazing program. Misty has more energy than any human should have. And then, so get into the boxing and then get into the climbing. So.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Well, Brian, we just have a couple minutes left here. I always love getting to talk about everything at Touch of Nature. And yeah, you know, like you're like, oh, you're an outdoorsy person. That's kind of a more recent, later in life development. I grew up here in Southern Illinois, and, you know, my mother did an excellent job. She was our Girl Scout troop leader of, you know, at least a couple times a year getting us out to, you know, Garden of the Gods, Giant City State Park, etc. But I didn't know how to do it on my own.
Yep.
And then, you know, I just started finding those friends and those people I felt comfortable with. And then once I got confident in that, you know, got stronger and more confident to have those safe solo hikes where I let people know where I'm going.
Yep.
And then I get to immerse myself in it here with both my job with the city and as a musician and as an artist. So, yeah, it's never too late to experience that nature, even if you think, I'm scared of bugs, I'm scared of this and that.
Well, I mean, like, how many times in this interview have you and I like
been swatting
away
exactly
some flies? But the other thing too, there's a research that I always quote, which is basically if kiddos don't have a positive outdoor experience by the time they're 12, the likelihood of them appreciating the outdoors dramatically drops.
Yeah, sure.
So that's really, you know, I got into this to work to get college kids outside, but then I found out that really if we want to get the college kids outside, we got to start when they're younger.
Yeah.
You know? And so sometimes, whether that's our forest school with the School of Education, where our pre-Ks just come out and play in the dirt, camps, whatever, music festivals, let's get positive outdoor experiences, because then they'll feel comfortable, as you have said, like exploring and kind of learning on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. How fantastic. Well, thank you so much again for having me out here.
We can do round 2 whenever you want.
Hey, absolutely. Yes. You know, we can keep gabbing.
Next time we'll do it from the top of the climbing wall. Okay?
Yeah.
Deal?
Perfect. We can do that. Or the pamper pole. Isn't that what it's called?
Yep. That sounds great. We need to do, next time.
Interview from the pamper pole.
The giant swing.
Yes. Yes.
That's good. We'll make it happen.
I love it. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in today to Talk of the Town. And thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
And we'll catch y'all next week.